we're having you join us today at the Eagle Fork Vineyard. I'd like to introduce Jerry Smith, who is the proprietor, the winemaker. I watched him mopping floors, so he's also the floor mopper. Jerry does everything here, right?
Yeah, being the owner of a small business means you do everything. You know, it's, when something has to be done with a small business, you just naturally do it, or you try to assign somebody else if you can.
Now we'd like to introduce his manager here, that Laura.
Laura Wilson.
Yes, and when you call here to make reservations, you'll be talking to Laura, and she has other sideline jobs I happen to know about, but this one she does extremely well. So, welcome to
Thank you.
to the Chamber Connection. We appreciate you coming, and this is the Clay County Chamber Connection. Thank you to Kinetic TV for allowing us to do this once a month, and kind of gives you an idea of what our businesses are like in their own venue, so you can feel like you're coming to a friendly place. Jerry, how long have you been out here?
Well, actually the winery was originally started about 2 miles from here, where we raise our grapes and we actually make our wine. We have a small wine tasting room there, and we opened up in 2008 to produce wine and to sell wine. And we had most of our activities out there, but it's a very unique place. It's very pretty. We've got ponds and fountains and streams, and the grapes grow there. It had a natural success, but unfortunately it's pretty small. So eventually, after about 4 years, we decided that we needed to come out onto the main highway. It's a little bit challenging to get back there because it's a country road. But we built this, and we've been here actually 5 years.
That's amazing. That time has just flown by.
Yeah, it has. When I think about what has progressed over the last 12 years, I'm astonished. Originally, when I started this, it was going to be a hobby. It's sort of, it's a hobby on steroids. It seems to just have a life of its own now. that makes it challenging. But when I retired from my business and got lost and couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, and I thought, well, this will be a great little thing to keep me busy, and it has certainly done that. For 7 months a year, during the season, as we call it, we pretty much stay busy 7 days a week, but it's been very gratifying. The growth has been gratifying. Working with the chamber has been great, and working with Laura has been a pleasure. So it's not like I do it myself. Everybody cooperates to make things work, and we're very pleased about that.
Okay, so you moved here to the new building about 2015.
2015.
And I've noticed that there's been a lot of additions even since then. You've just kind of kept growing. Right now you're having a barn restructured so that you can have an antique store.
Mm-hmm. Yes, originally this land was a horse pasture, and the barn was stables for the horses, and it stayed that way until about a year ago. And we decided that I didn't really decide, I had some help deciding to make that into something that was more useful. And one of the things that we tried to do here as we got bigger and bigger is try to reach out to all kinds of people. The winery attracts a lot of tourists. That's a good thing. People come into this area because of its natural beauty and because of the lake, and because of the recreational facilities that are available. So the winery fit in very well, but there was another niche that we felt that we could fill, and that was to provide a place for, in this case, antiques. And in addition to antiques, and we'll go on maybe a little bit later on about that, but we also now have a microbrewery, which is downstairs, and it opened about 3 weeks ago. and we're now producing our wines here, or I should say our beers here. So, we'll have everything produced here. And we'll talk about food also in maybe a couple of minutes.
Oh, yeah.
But the real fun part of working here is that we're part of the community, and everything we do here is part of the community. Including the sale of little odds and ends, and now we're in this corner, which eventually will be down where our shop is, where our antiques are. But they're all made locally, and I think that's what people come to get, is come to see or come to taste. I've often said that, why would a person come to a boutique winery like ours and pay maybe a little more than they would in a supermarket? And the answer is the atmosphere, to get involved with the community, to taste what is produced here, or to see what is made here. And that all makes it not only just a job, but it makes it fun. The interaction with people and letting them look at things and say, well, who made this? And the answer is, well, somebody right here, right here in the Clay County. So.
Well, you also, now the brewery, which is downstairs, and he has, I see a list of brewery beers over there. How is that going? Does that seem to be
Well, it's
fulfilling?
we've only been the beers, maybe 3 weeks now, 4 weeks.
3 weeks.
It's at this point, people come here with the idea that they're going to have a glass of wine, and they're surprised to find out that we also have microbrewed beer.
Guys will
here.
love that.
They do.
Yeah, they do. And so, if you look at the history in the last 3 weeks of our beer sales, even though we have not advertised it yet, it has grown almost every single day as people begin to get the idea that, oh yeah, we serve beer there. We call, I guess we'll go back out there a little bit later on into another part of the winery, but we call it the depot. And what we're trying to do is attract people to come to the depot to have a glass of microbrewed beer or a glass of wine.
Now, this, I know you're starting your, like, it was Wine Under the Stars. You're starting that back up again for Fridays.
Yeah, this, as everybody's aware, the COVID virus has created great challenges for businesses, particularly small businesses like ours. Big businesses, they have perhaps the ability to withstand the shock of not being open or of doing things much different. So we were closed for I think 7 or 8 weeks.
2 months.
Just totally closed. But we knew we could not survive continuously that way. And we decided to take on the challenge and say, what could we do that would protect the public and still provide entertainment, a source of income for our employees, and a source of money for the winery to keep it open. And so what we've come up with is a program that will be every Friday night now, from 6 o'clock until 9 o'clock. We will have live music. We will have wine and beer, of course. And we've teamed with the Picnic Basket Deli out on 175. That for those that are in the local area, they may know it. And the way that we've teamed with them, we've kept in mind constantly the need to be safe as far as the virus is concerned. And as far as food is concerned, people that would like to come on a Friday night to enjoy live music and locally made beer and wine, they order their food off the menu that's on our website. And after they've ordered the food, it is produced and boxed at the Picnic Basket. It comes all sealed so that there's no one going to touch it. On the box is the name of the person who has ordered it. And when people come in to eat or to enjoy the evening and to eat also, unlike in the past where we had a buffet where everybody gathered around, and we can't do that anymore. They will be called up to the front and given their box of food. All our employees will be wearing masks so that we don't transmit anything to them and that protects our employees also. And the tables are all 6 feet apart, so that there's social distancing. And when it comes to ordering beer and wine, they will order their beer and wine in here, but we'll have somebody outside the door there. We'll only let a couple of people at a time come in, so that there's not a group of people all milling around waiting to get their glass of wine. So we feel at this point, we've taken all the precautions to protect our customers, protect our employees, but have something that we can give to the local people on a Friday night. And we're very much family oriented here. We're not a bar. Nothing wrong with a bar, but that's not our goal. Our goal is to provide a refreshing drink that's made locally, but also to provide an environment where you can come with your wife or your husband, even your children if you want. As a matter of fact, probably not Friday night, but normally we're pet friendly and allow people to bring their pets. So it's meant to be a place where people come and enjoy the evening, not just to drink, but to have a good time. And during the past 11 years, we've had something called Wine Under the Stars, in which we had a large band, we had all-you-can-eat buffet, a free wine tasting, and people loved it. They said it's something where a family can come and enjoy without feeling like they're going to a bar. And we wanted to continue that tradition, but with the COVID virus, it was a challenge. How do you do that without endangering people? And we encourage people that are coming, please bring your mask. If you don't, we will have masks here. We can't enforce it, of course. We're not in that business, but to provide health and safety for everybody, we have masks, and we advise you to come with it and be safe.
That's good. I think during this COVID period, you've taken some time, all of y'all, to be able to kind of formulate exactly what's going to work. Where a lot of businesses kind of just sit back and almost die. But you've taken the bull by the horns, and I think that you're doing got an excellent opportunity going here. We're going to take a quick break, but please stay tuned. We're going to come back, and you'll be able to see a little bit more of the winery, and you'll be able to see Jerry again. All right, welcome back to the Clay County Chamber Day here at Kinetic TV. I'm Pam Roman, the director of the Chamber. And with me still is Jerry Smith, who is the proprietor of the Eagle Fork Vineyard. One of the things I absolutely love, I mean, it's my absolute favorite here, are the wine slushies. When we do the puckin' chunkin' and you're out there with that little slushy machine, I'm usually filling up a cup and walking by. But if you haven't had a wine slushy, they are famous for it. What brought that up? How did you?
Well, we actually were visiting another winery not anywhere near here, and they had a slushy machine. And at that time, I thought it was just slushies, just for kids and stuff like that. So I didn't know they had wine slushies, I thought they just had slushies. So I thought, well, why not make a wine slushie? That's what we are, we're a brewery.
Yeah.
I'm a winery. So we decided we bought a slushie, we bought two slushie machines. One to take on the road when we were doing events, and one here. But we had no idea how to make slushies. That was a trial and error. We kept on mixing it, and all kinds of. The first thing it wouldn't harden, then it froze solid, then it didn't taste like anything but ice. It was just like, well, how do you do this? Well, I found out later on that a lot of the wineries that now carry slushies, they buy a mix. We don't. This is a absolute secret formula.
Okay.
And if you ask how to make it, I'll tell you, then I have to kill you. we cannot let anybody know how we do this. But people absolutely love it. We had a couple in here, actually a whole family from India. they came in, and of course we said, are you interested in wine? And they said, no, we're interested in these things called slushies. So, and they loved them. So now we are world famous.
Yes, yes, you are.
And
Now, if they could come up with a slushy beer, you know.
I have to mention it to our brewmaster. But we grow all our own grapes. Not all our own grapes. There's some things that we don't grow because they're either too exotic or it's just not the right climate. But most of our grapes are grown right here at our own farm. And in this case, this is a slushy made from peach wine, and this is a slushy made from Concord wine. So, but the recipe is strictly ours. And if you haven't had a Eagle Ford Vineyard wine slushy, you've missed something.
Really
because
have.
people come back over and over again. And Laura could probably verify this. There was a group, or I'm not sure it was Laura or Barbara. Anyhow, a group of 4 people came in and bought $100 worth of slushies. So they sat out there all day drinking slushies. And people, they sometimes say, well, they don't taste like they have any wine in them. Well, that usually by the second glass, they now know it's.
By the second glass, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
By the third glass, I'm just like.
The other thing that we produce here, by the way, we produce 13 different wines, and we've tried to produce wines for everybody's taste. We have sweet wines, we have semi-sweet wines, we have dry wines, we have red wines, we have white wines, we have fruit wines, we have blush wines, or in between, pink wines, and everybody's taste in wine is different. So we've tried to reach out to everybody. But one of the new things that we have just begun to produce, which has gone over extremely well, over in Clayton, Georgia, is a distillery where they produce bourbon. And when they get done, the barrels, for the most part, they sell them. But before that, they used to throw them away. But we go over there and buy the bourbon barrel. Now, the bourbon has been aged in those barrels for 3 years. So the bourbon is soaked into the oak, and of course, it's the oak flavor that they look for in the bourbon. But once they have emptied that all out, we go over and buy the barrels, and we take our wine called Chambourcin, which is very much like a Merlot, just grows better here, and we put it in the barrel for 60 days. At the end of 60 days, it has a mellow aroma, a bouquet of bourbon, and a slight bourbon taste, and it has gone over extremely well. People absolutely love it. And we, again, I would like to stake claim that it was all my idea, but I read it in California they do it. So I figured whatever they do in California, we can do it probably better.
That's right.
So,
and you kind of perfected it, I'm sure, in your own way.
yes. Well, the first time that we did it, we had no idea how to actually age the Chambourcin in the bourbon barrel. So we left it in there for about 6 months, thinking, well, it takes a while for it to come out of the oak. Yeah, it comes out faster than you think. When you tasted the wine, it was like drinking a glass of bourbon. So we said, well, that's probably a little bit too much. So now we got it down to 60 days. That seems to be just the right amount of time.
Yeah.
So that's one of our newest things. We also are, besides the bourbon barrel, we and the standard wines that are made out of grapes, we also sell peach wine and blackberry wine.
Yes.
So
Those are my favorites. I'm a sweet wine
and
drinker.
so and we neither grow peach nor blackberry. So that is provided by a winery down in southern Georgia, where they grow both the peaches and the blackberries. So that's one of the areas where we don't actually produce the grapes. But most of our wines here are produced locally, right here. And I am the wine master, and I do make the wines. So,
Yes. Well, we're going to cut to a photo op so that we can go out and everyone can see how beautiful it is outside, what you're doing, and you can talk about the new things that are coming that you were telling us about.
I would like to maybe take a minute as we do tour the winery to introduce the future of Eagle Ford Vineyards. At some point in everybody's life, you've got to a look to the future as to what you're going to do when you're no longer able to do all the wonderful things that we've managed to accomplish here. And it's every man's, every woman's, every family's dream to turn it over to the next generation. And this is the next generation. This is my family, this is my grandson, my son-in-law, and my daughter. And in the future, I hope sincerely that as I sort of move to the background, that these are the faces that you'll see Eagle Fork, and they bring fresh new ideas and ideas that I'm just maybe getting too old to follow up, but they're young and healthy and ready to dig in, and I look forward to them being part of this winery. So. Now I'd like to take a little tour of the winery and give you some ideas about the kinds of things that we do and why we can do them. Here in this particular area, this is known as the depot, and it is an area that is set up for activities beyond what we do at the bar. As you notice, we can seat quite a few people. As a matter of fact, we can seat around 100 people in this area. Right now, during the COVID virus, all our tables are 6 feet apart in order to prevent any kind of contamination with our customers. But we can have weddings out here, we can have parties out here, we can have reunions out here. The sides come down. There's vinyl sides that hang down from the tops, so inclement weather is never a problem. And we can actually have activities out here until usually around mid-December, when it gets just a little bit too cold. But we have heaters out here also, so that this is a multiple area for activities. And just as a help for the community, small groups, maybe like a ladies club or something like that, we encourage them to come out and use our space when it's not being rented out or leased. There is no charge for them. They can come out and have their group out here. If it's a small group of 10, 12, 14, 16, maybe even up to 20, you know, we welcome you to come out and enjoy this. We're part of the community, and we want to share what we have in the way of a facility. And the more it's used, the better I feel about it. Beyond that, we have some other things that people, they particularly like the fact that we have some things here that make it aesthetically pleasing. We have our water wheel. We have a waterfalls, which is in the back. We have our koi pond, and we have a vista of the mountains here that people are astonished when they come out here. Sometimes I get asked, why did you put the winery here? And I said, please come out and sit down, have a glass of wine, and look at the magnificent view that we have from this winery. It's truly a place where we encourage people to just relax. That's what it's all about here, is having a lot of relaxation and fun, in not just drinking a glass of wine and leaving. Also, we built this to provide a little bit of a different environment for those people who come to enjoy our microbrews versus the more formal setting that's inside for people who would like that as they drink our wines. So please come out, and if you would like to bring a picnic lunch and come out and enjoy the vista and have a glass of wine or a glass of beer, that's fine with us. So, you know, we do not serve food here except on Friday nights. Friday nights we ask, please don't bring your own drinks or your own food, but otherwise, if you want to bring some sandwiches and sit there and just enjoy, that's perfectly okay. Now maybe we'll go to a little bit to the back here, and I'll show you what's going on for the future for those people who would like maybe even something different than what we have to offer here. This area out here, we originally built this for small weddings with a pergola and so on, but we're about ready to make some changes. We will be having a deck built out here in the next 2 weeks, as a matter of fact, 20 by 30 with a railing around it. and we'll have tables with umbrellas for those people who would like to just to sit outside, enjoy all the fresh air and the beautiful view. This will be an area that they could do that in. And also the deck will have posts around the corners so that we can light that up at night. So we'll have a very intimate, small area where you could sit out there on the deck, enjoy the wine, maybe have a small party out there, or just get away from the hubbub of what's going on inside the winery. When we bought this place, it was a horse pasture, and there was a building on it that was stables for the horses, and it has sat here for quite some time without a specific purpose. And Kathy Deal, who lives here, has been a broker in antiques for 20, almost 30 years, and she suggested that we turn this into an antique store. So as you can see from the video picture, we're in the last phases of turning this into an antique store, and with a pergola. When it's all done, it will be all painted, of course, and it will have an area where you can sit with tables, and she has brought a 26-foot trailer full of antiques. So those of you that would like to come out, not only look at antiques, but maybe enjoy a glass of wine as you browse all the different antiques, that would be, I think, a very pleasant experience. And Kathy knows her antiques, and I think she's also a very personable person, and you'll love to be with her and just talk about the antiques if that's what you like. So this should be open within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Really, it's all done. We just need to put gravel down and finish painting, and then she can start her antiques. And of course, it's also right here in the middle of our grapevines, some of our grapevines. So it's, this will be Vineyard Vintage Antiques. And if you like antiques, you like a glass of wine or a glass of beer, and you like to be among the very plants that produce the wine that you're drinking, this is the place to come. So we look forward to having this open and enjoying an entire different clientele that would perhaps like to experience the antiques that she brings. And she brings all these antiques from Nevada, by the way. So there'll be a whole different kind of antiques that you probably have not experienced with. So we look forward to having you come.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that tour. You have done amazing things here, and I can see there's more on the horizon. So whatever you do, you cannot miss this place. Come out on a Friday night, limited seating. So if you want to make reservations, you need to do it immediately, and tell them that you will be here on Friday nights for the food, the wine, the beer. Just come out and have some fun and see what you've been missing if you've never been here. A lot of people in town have been here a lot, but we have a lot of locals or visitors. So please come out, and thank you so much, Kinetic TV, for allowing me and Jerry and Eagle Fork Vineyard to be on the program today.
We look forward to seeing you at the winery. You will have a good time. We make good wine, and like Pam said, our Friday nights would be a good time for everyone. But please, because of COVID, we need to have reservations. We need to limit our seating to what would be safe with social distancing. So please call us. We look forward to seeing you.